Hi there, my name's Phil and I look after the customer success team here at Figured. What I'm going to cover off today with you is how you can potentially connect with your teammates and clients online. Now, we at Figured actually quite like getting out and about, visiting accountants, visiting bankers, visiting farmers, but sometimes catching up just isn't an option. And that's where having a virtual option becomes quite handy. Cool news here is there's so much awesome technology out there today that you have quite a few options. Now, we have chosen an app called Zoom. There are many others that you could select from, and I'll talk about them at the end, but I'm going to cover off Zoom today just because that's what we know about. Zoom does have a really nice basic free model too, and that's where it's probably quite handy as a starting point. You can hold unlimited one-to-one meetings, and you'll notice that you can have group meetings that will last up to 40 minutes. Unfortunately, after that 40 minutes, they stop, but nobody really wants to have a meeting that lasts for that long anyway, so that's quite handy. If you do go for one of the pro versions or above, you start to get things like the ability to record meetings, which is pretty cool too. Now, Zoom itself is an app that's going to install on your computer. You'll be able to select it and that will pop up this great little dashboard here. From that dashboard I can change my settings. I can even set up nice backgrounds to sit there pretending that I'm somewhere that I'm not really. I have the ability to create meetings on the fly, and I just flick out the URL to somebody and ask them to join, or I can schedule a meeting. Now, scheduling a meeting will give me the ability to pick a time, a date, how long it's going for, whether it's recurring. And something to consider would be if you do have the option, whichever app that you choose, to include a telephone option for audio as well as the computer audio, that's a pretty good way to go. Reason being, not everybody will have an awesome laptop or computer with a microphone and speaker that works that well, so giving them the option to phone in is pretty handy. Do make sure it's configured for the country that you're living in. Now, Zoom also has a great little plugin that will add into my calendar, and the nice thing about that is I can add conferencing when I'm setting up a meeting invite there too, so that's quite a handy feature I find. You'll note that I've actually got the Google equivalent available to me because I'm on the G Suite as well, so Hangouts is very similar, well, in terms of Hangouts Meet, is very similar to Zoom. Once I've added that Zoom meeting, there's going to be a link that's available for me to send off with that meeting invite, and the person who receives it will be able to click on that link and open up a meeting. Do note, depending on the permissions that are on that computer, the person who's opening up Zoom may be asked to, are they sure that they want to open up that particular meeting? Worth keeping that in mind if you're having to talk through somebody who might not be that used to using computers. Now, as we come down through here, when I go into the meeting, it'll ask me, do I want to use my computer audio, or I might have phoned in beforehand. If all goes well, when you start up your meeting, you'll have somebody staring back at you far more attractive than this ugly mug here. But if you notice down the bottom, what you'll see is you've got a lot of the functionality sitting down through there. What I can do is, after I've started the meeting, invite additional people. Now that's going to give me the ability to copy the URL or invitation and just paste that into an email, or I could send it directly out of an email if that's all set up to go. One of the cool features down there is share. Now this is how I share my screen. I can share my desktop. Do note, if I'm sharing my desktop, make sure I've turned off notifications, hidden away any dodgy looking browsers that I don't want other people to see. Or I could pick a particular browser to share with everybody. There's also a nice little whiteboard option there too. Now, once I'm sharing things with people, I do have this option up the top there, that's where the banner's now gone, to annotate what I'm looking at. You'll note that there's also going to be a little box over to the side there with the faces of the people who are on the call at that time. Now, if you are using Figured, you could already share a report and put notes to it, but if you're doing this live, what you might find quite useful is the ability to actually come in here and put little squiggles, or I've put a little arrow there and a little box around a figure, so I can use that to sort of show people what's going on here. Now, if I'm having some troubles with the audio, do look down in that bottom left-hand corner. There is a microphone icon. Clicking that will mute you. Unclicking it, or clicking it again, will unmute it. There is a little arrow beside it. If I click on that, I do have the option to test my speaker and microphone. That can be pretty handy early on if you're having some issues. Now, if I want to show my through my webcam what I'm up to, I can click that little video, or I can stop it by clicking that video. So if I'm in my pajamas, I might not want to show that to everybody. There are many options out there, so do some research. Zoom isn't the only thing there. I've just covered it off because that's what we use. And I wanted to let you have an idea of some of the options that are out there for meeting with your teammates as well as your clients. There is TeamViewer, there's Skype, there's Google Meet, and many more, so do your research. Once you've selected one, do experiment with it before you unleash it on your clients. Learn your hard lessons with your teammates, or even just use a secondary email that you own to make sure that you understand what somebody has to do when they receive the link, what it's like when they click on that link, what they see, so you can talk them through if you need to. Make sure that you're comfortable that when you're sharing the screen, just exactly what it is that they are seeing. And then you'll have a lot more comfort when you start using the app that you've selected. Just one thing to note, my team, the customer success team, we're doing a lot of remote work at the moment, and we're starting our day each day with Zoom, going through a quiz. Just something social so we can make sure that we're still interacting a lot through the day. In fact, we're probably going to start doing a quiz in the afternoon just to make sure that we're still keeping up to date with the social elements of work, because it can be kind of lonely working at home. Now, we're not really in a position to serve up advice or support on the app that you might select to use for remote meetings, but we are there to help you out with Figured. So if you have any questions around Figured, please jump in the app, jump into the green bubble and fire away. Don't forget, we do have the Help Centre, which is a great resource so you can look through and try and find things yourself. We also have a YouTube channel. Now that has loads of other videos around how to use Figured or things that we've just recently released, so please have a look at that also. Awesome, thanks very much for your time and good luck with being online and connecting with people.